Every 7 seconds, there's a new virus that exists. The speed of the virus creation and the speed of virus spreading is amazingly faster.
It's taken 20 years for us to acquire approximately 175,000 virus samples. We now see more virus samples in a month than we saw in that entire 20-year history.
I don't think people understand how bad it is. But it's very, very bad, and it's a serious concern for security professionals.
They know how to write the stuff which is stealing informations. And these guys ensure that the malware, when it's initially released, is not detected by security products.
If I were a chief information security officer at an enterprise company, I'd be scared to death because of the sophistication of the people that I'm fighting. And this is organized crime.
The bad guys actually have figured out that they could make a lot of money with malware. It's commercialized and it's a huge industry. The security industry in total is generating about 5 billion every year, and the bad guys are generating more money.
The bad guys is getting ahead of the security industry.
The problem is actually not the creation of the signature. The problem is the deployment. How do you reach all these notebooks? How do you deploy a signature in a 10,000 user environment fast enough to protect all these users?
The old model of just getting things loaded to you from the security vendor also doesn't work just because of the pure volume here.
The next problem with all of this is the more signatures are stored on a local computer, the slower the computer is. So what Trend Micro is doing, seeing all this, a behavioral analysis module which has its weaknesses, pattern matching has its weaknesses and so on, it's clear that we need to develop a new approach. And this is what we have done.
It is a paradigm shift. It makes more sense to do it in another way.
The customers are now starting to realize, hey, I spent millions in desktop protection, but did it really protect me?
That's why we feel the urgency of moving the security to the cloud, because the cloud has the power of processing so that we can continuously, in real time, update the threat database while taking the load of the pattern file off the user's PC.
So I think Trend really sent a message to the market, a really bold message, because it admits to some weakness in the current model, but it says here's a new way that we have to move forward.
In my 20 years career in the security industry, that is the biggest bet I made. But it's also the biggest bet that I feel most confident that is the right solution for the threats of today's landscape.
The customers tell the security industry, protect me better. I'm not willing to pay a lot of money for something which doesn't really protect me. You haven't solved my problem yet. With Trend Micro Smart Protection Network, we are solving this problem. So by using email reputation, web reputation and file reputation and putting this all in the cloud, I create the Smart Protection Network. I not only could protect our customer faster, I shorten the time to protection.
We can map out the whole criminal ring in the cloud, and therefore the Smart Protection Network will be able to prevent users to go to the malicious site to download any malicious code or to receive any malicious phishing mail. So we can stop the threat before it reaches the end user.
With this, I now see faster if something malicious happens, and I could process this faster, and I could protect our customers faster, because I don't need to wait to deploy a signature onto our servers. Then I don't need to wait till the customers are downloading the signatures until they then publish the signatures to 10,000 endpoints. No, I only need to update a few servers and in the cloud architecture, and based on this, I insert a new signature, a new protection technology, and 1 minute later, all my customer base, no matter what size, no matter where they are in the world, they're all protected with the Smart Protection Network. I'm easy now on CPU, I'm easy on memory, and I'm easy on bandwidth.
Less complexity, more protection. I think that's the key benefit to customers.
The products themselves are capable of acting like sensors, analyzing the threat landscape for us. So it's this feedback loop within the product, which means that the products connected to the Smart Protection Network get better automatically.
Every day we crunch about 5 billion of requests from our customer. We are processing 1 to 2 terabytes of data. And every hour we are analyzing 800 malware samples. And we could correlate between all these events.
This whole correlation needs to be done in the cloud within 5 minutes. That way we can provide not just 0-day protection, it needs to be 0 minutes, 0 second protection.
What does this mean? Email reputation checks if it is a good sender or a bad sender. It's like, if somebody is ringing at your door and you look outside and he looks very shady. You might not let him in. If we could do this for email, why can't we check the reputation of a web server? Why can't we say, dear user, if you're accessing this site, you shouldn't do this because you will be infected. Web reputation, you need to be very fast. So we invested a lot in data centers around the globe and so on to do all this.
The last part is we embedded the file reputation database into the cloud. In a simple way, we say there's a smart agent at the client side analyzing the file, and then we calculate the unique hash code about the file. And then it's almost like DNS query. We send the query to the cloud and say, file 1234, is that good or bad? And the cloud will answer with, it's a bad file, you should not accept it, or it's a good file, you can execute it. Or it's an unknown file, you can use it for now, but at the back end, our Smart Protection Network correlation will immediately find out it's either good or bad and inform the client machine what is the next step.
And only because I own all this, I could correlate between all these events and I could protect our customer faster. And with this, Trend Micro could shorten the time to protect.
We immediately extract the spam mail, add that to our anti-spam database. We also immediately extract the URL embedded in the email, and then we add that to our website reputation database. Not only that, we immediately launch our crawler to that URL, download all the components residing in that URL, and then we download all those, add that to our anti-spyware, antivirus database. We don't stop there. Usually, when we analyze inside those objects that we downloaded, we will find a list of IP addresses or domain names that malware will go back to download another components. So we immediately add those IP addresses and domain name back to our web reputation services database. Why should customers care? Customers should care because today's threats pose a much bigger risk than before.
If you talk about ultimately things like corporate reputation, image, brand, in certain examples, the exposure to an enterprise can be measured in the billions.
Think about the enterprise customers. Sometimes I feel really sympathizing these CIO and CSOs. How many security products they need to manage and still not getting the proper protection.
A recent survey from Information Week indicated that security professionals overwhelmingly describe managing the complexity of security as a greater challenge than dealing with the security threats themselves.
The enterprise companies I'm talking to are saying, please help me. We need to get rid of this complexity.
We have, which is unique to Trend Micro, the local scan servers as well. This means I don't send the information to the cloud anymore.
That way, we minimize the network traffic that need to go to the cloud, and also we preserve the control and the privacy that customers want to retain for their enterprise environment.
Security as a checkbox has now, in a sense, been replaced with security as a strategic component to a business strategy. Any technology or any solution that really consolidates the ability to manage, deploy, understand, receive actionable intelligence about how to better protect their enterprise is of the highest value. Trend Micro Enterprise Security is a series of products and solutions powered by the Smart Protection Network, delivering better protection and less complexity for customers. The way Trend Micro intends to help drive complexity out of enterprise organizations is three ways. The first is a commitment to central management. The second is a commitment to a solutions framework to our go-to-market strategy. We really want to bring solutions to the marketplace, not just point products. And last is we want to give customers flexibility. So we want customers to be able to acquire our products and solutions on the platforms of their choice. It's all about managing risk. And time is the critical element that will differentiate one security solution from the next.
Time to protect means that you need to get shortest time to get the best protection and also minimize the complexity of managing your security products.
And so it's sort of everything that an enterprise wants. Security, lower cost, less complexity. Absolutely makes sense to me.
Come back to why only Trend Micro can do this. Because Trend Micro, in our 20 years, we've been focusing on content security. We are the only company that owns the anti-spyware, antivirus, anti-spam, URL filtering, categorization, technology, all in-house. And we were able to put all this database in the cloud and do the correlation.
We are protecting the customers better than any other company because we shorten the time to protect and we correlate between the events, so we see malware way faster, no matter if it's a widely spread malware or if it's something very specific to just target a company. And that's why Trend Micro Smart Protection Network is unique and I would say totally different to what the competition is offering.
I'm starting to see some of the competitors emulate this. And for Trend, it really did trump the market in terms of timing, in terms of thought leadership, in terms of technology infrastructure. The competition is now recognizing that they need to make this change, but now they're starting from scratch.
All these companies, they do have firewall, they have IPS, VPN, anti-malware, everything. Why is this still happening to them? Their security must have a big gap.
So what would I do? I'd look for help. I'd look for the best help I could. And I'd also look for a model that can scale to meet these kinds of growing threats. And that's really what Trend is doing.
It's time to protect for enterprise customer. Rethink and re-implement your security.